People of the internet, it is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another episode of Downtime. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. This story comes from CNN. Came across this. I wasn't originally aware of it when it first happened. It looks like this is a situation that happened a few months ago, back in September, where it says here, a woman who threw a bowl of food at Chipotle worker is now sentenced to work 2 months in fast food job. Right? Before we get into this article, of course, I'll go ahead and share the clip of the actual video that went viral. It looks like this was a situation that took place a few months ago, back in September. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys first. We can look at the clip to see the actual happenings of the event, and then we'll dive a little bit. I'm going to share my thoughts on this, folks. And of course, as I always encourage you guys to do, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and get into this clip. All right. Go ahead and get back into the article from CNN, where they just reported that a judge has made a verdict as to what should be the rightful punishment of this lady for doing so. Says here, of course, a woman who threw a bowl of hot food in the face of a Chipotle worker has been sentenced to a month in jail and 2 months working a fast food job. Of course, videos of the woman Rosemary Hain berating Chipotle worker Emily Russell on September 5th and then throwing the food in her face at close range went viral after the incident. Hain, a 39-year-old mother of 4, pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge and received the sentence last week in the Parma, Ohio Municipal Court. Judge Timothy Gilligan gave her the choice of a 90-day jail sentence or a 30-day sentence on top of 60 days working in a fast food job. Do you want to walk in her shoes for 2 months and learn how people should treat people, or do you want to do jail time? Gilligan asked Hain at the hearing, in which she replied, "I'd like to walk in her shoes," Hain responded. Of course, the article goes into greater detail to the events that took place that day. Here's my thoughts, folks. First and foremost, it always baffles me how people treat people in general, one, but specifically the people who do a service for us. People that work in hospitality, whether that's in, anything customer service, anything within customer service, it always baffles me how people, specifically, especially in the food industry, treat people in that industry. Nothing tells me that I should be yelling, degrading, insulting anybody who's in charge of serving me food, cooking my food, preparing my food, handling my food. What? That's risky behavior. Anything that I'm to consume, if it's not being made by me personally, I will treat the person with the utmost respect. And of course, I always chant, and champion the idea of treating everybody with respect. That should just be stationary. But if anybody should be held with the utmost regard, it should be our healthcare workers. It should be the people that take care of our food. Things that I have to eat, consume, maybe put in my body, or maybe childcare, our teachers, people that watch after our kids. Those people should be treated, if anything, with the utmost respect. But here you have people, it always baffles me when people are yelling, screaming, putting up a fight, specifically with people in the food industry for something you have to consume and digest in your body. That doesn't seem like the right thing to do to me. I also thought it was interesting, though, folks, to be completely honest. Now, the judge, of course, as you saw in the article, sentenced the lady to, she had an option. You could either do 90 days in jail, of course, 3 months, or you could do 30 days in jail and 2 months in a fast food restaurant. Now, of course, she picked to do the time, the 30 days. She also picked to do the time and says, cool, yeah, I'll walk a mile in her shoes. Sure, I'll take a few months in her shoes, whatever the case is. Now, I would agree that is a solid punishment, right? Do some jail time, rightfully so, because that behavior is completely unacceptable. And then, of course, take on the role since you seem to be so privileged or seem to be so, aloof, for lack of a better word, to the real ins and outs of what it takes to even be in that role. Yeah, come walk a mile in my shoes. Come, put in a few hours on this shift. But I thought it was a little bit of like, how they say like a backhanded compliment or like the irony of the situation is that the jobs that people do to make a living could be deemed as punishment, right? That's what I kind of thought was interesting, right? What are your thoughts, folks? It's like the job, yeah, of course. Anything within customer service, I think, is going to be a challenging job. That's 100%. Like, man, anything, if you were ever worked retail, specifically in the holiday season, of course, I've had my fair share of work in retail spaces, things of that nature. I'm no stranger to customer service. But to deem it as punishment as well it was a little bit strange to me. So what does that say about the people and how we treat or how we view people in those industries, where it could be looked at as a legitimate means of income, but also punishment for the next man, right? So does that mean that the wages are not fair? Does that mean that we all agree that these are menial jobs? For some would consider these menial jobs. Again, no disrespect to the people that, thrive off of that for their income. Like I said, I've been there myself. But I think that's also admitting that those jobs are maybe not the jobs that people are, most prone to do. And if they are, then maybe they should be properly compensated for it. Clearly, in examples like this, the things that you have to go through and, working in customer service, people yelling at you, people being upset, whatever the case is, things that are sometimes completely outside of your control, and you got to take the short end of the stick on that. So I thought it was interesting. Again, I do agree that it's rightful punishment. Yeah, do some jail time, and yeah, come behind this counter. Cool. But I just kind of thought, like, again, like how people say it's like almost like a backhanded compliment. It's almost just like, as your punishment, come work a job that people actually do as a living, to provide for themselves, whatever the case is. So it just made me kind of think about wages, inequality within the workspace, whatever the case is. It's almost even like how you see people on the side of the road, like, another, punishment that people would do, like sanitary jobs, right? Or, like people will sentence you to, what is it? Like, like for example, if you have public service or whatever the case is, community service hours or the cases where you see the guys cleaning on the side of the road with their suits and picking up trash, those are people's legitimate means of income. That's also a punishment. I'm sentencing you to jail and 30 hours community service. Go clean the side of the highways. So it's like we're acknowledging that these could be considered as menial, stressful jobs because we're able to consider them as punishment as well too. I think that says a lot, and just that gesture alone. I think we kind of need to revisit that, man. It's either we acknowledge that these jobs aren't maybe the most thrilling jobs to do, but somebody has to do it, right? And then we compensate the people properly within those jobs. Or this is where I kind of say, again, like I've said before, I'm not fully against all AI jobs. Maybe we do, these jobs that are a little bit more difficult or that would be considered a punishment. Okay, dish those off to the robots. I'm not opposed to that. Like I said, I'm not fully against robots. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not fully against this whole uprising of AI robots and, what are the case. And I think there's another story I kind of want to speak on as well, too, regarding that. But I think again, in closing, of course, I don't want to drag this out a little bit too much. Of course, I just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts as well, too. What do you guys think about that, man? Do you think the punishment was enough? Do you treat people like this? I hope you guys are not out here treating people in customer service or any job at all, or any human at all, fellow humans on this planet. I hope you're not yelling at people that prepare your food and fly your planes and take care of your kids at school. Those are the last people you need to be having any type of quarrels with. So I hope we all act as civilized humans when we're out in public and treating each other with respect, man. Come on now. It shouldn't take you having to come behind the counter and do this job for you to respect me if that's my job. Why do you have to walk a mile in my shoes for you to deem it something that you want to respect and feel like, okay, cool, let me not degrade you? Sometimes, man, I think people kind of take things for granted, and I think we overlook the things that come off as luxuries to us. Somebody has to, put that strong end of the bill, and I think we got to just be more conscious of things that, aren't necessarily doing, but somebody is. I think we all need to be a little bit more conscious of that. But what are your thoughts, folks? As always, I'd love to hear them. Down in the comment section below, of course, the likes, the comments, and subscribes are all greatly appreciated, as I've always mentioned. I will catch you on the next one.